Hello everyone, and welcome back to Foreign Eyes on America. Around the world, people watch America with fascination, its freedom, its creativity, and its spirit. Today, we'll see how foreign media and millions of people view this remarkable nation. For Japanese visitors, the most striking realization is that American high school stadiums are not merely sports facilities, but stages for youth dreams. When players run out of the tunnel to the roar of thousands, the atmosphere resembles a professional match. In Japan, student athletes may compete for trophies or school pride. In the U.S., teenagers perform under blazing lights with the entire town watching, creating pressure and opportunity rarely seen in Japanese school sports. The scale affects the player's psychology. Some describe it as overwhelming: the sound of drums, cheerleaders leading chants, and bands filling the air. Yet over time, many athletes see the stadium as a proving ground. Recruiters often attend, scouting future talent. For Japanese observers, the thought that a high schooler's performance could shape college opportunities is astounding. The spectacle also extends beyond athletes. Marching bands perform halftime shows rivaling professional concerts. Cheerleaders, drill teams, and even student journalists all find the stadium a canvas for their skills. In Japan, such roles are secondary. In America, they are celebrated alongside the game. What amazes Japanese journalists is how this builds confidence. Students learn to face pressure, to stand before thousands, to balance academics with practice. The stadium thus becomes a training ground for life. To Japanese eyes, these facilities reflect America's belief in sports as an investment in character and leadership. But one question puzzles them: how can a high school afford such arenas? In Japan, even universities struggle to fund large facilities. Yet in America, some schools maintain stadiums costing tens of millions. In states like Texas, residents approve taxes because they see the field as their own, a place where generations gather. Local businesses sponsor scoreboards and shows, reinforcing the bond between school and town. The impact reaches beyond the field. Restaurants fill, parking lots overflow, and local pride rises. In Japan, high schools rarely influence local economies. In America, a strong football program can shape a town's identity. Critics argue the money could go to academics, but communities see stadiums as investments in unity and safe gathering spaces. For Japanese visitors, this economic model challenges assumptions. They leave impressed not only by the size of the structures, but by the philosophy of valuing shared experience as much as academic achievement. For Japanese observers, the real weight of American high school football stadiums is felt once the lights ignite and the game begins. The atmosphere transforms a field into something far larger than sport. Drums thunder from the marching band, brass echoes across the bleachers, and cheerleaders unite thousands of voices into one chant. For a teenager stepping onto the turf, the roar is overwhelming, almost frightening, yet electrifying. In Japan, a high school match may attract classmates and parents. In America, Friday night football gathers entire towns. Alumni drive in, families rearrange schedules, and college recruiters watch carefully. Japanese reporters find this astonishing: that a teenager's Friday night performance can shape access to university. Every pass, tackle, and touchdown becomes more than a score. This duality of pressure and opportunity defines the stadium. Players must recover from mistakes under thousands of eyes, learning resilience and calm. The lesson is not only athletic, it is training in character. But the spectacle involves more than athletes. Marching bands prepare elaborate halftime shows, drill teams dazzle with routines, and cheerleaders energize the stands. Even student journalists and photographers contribute, turning the event into a full school performance. To Japanese visitors, where supporting roles remain modest, this recognition is surprising. What strikes them most is how these experiences shape identity. Shy students discover confidence, musicians and performers learn to command attention, and athletes absorb the discipline of teamwork. The stadium becomes an extension of education, a classroom without walls. In Japan, schools emphasize academics and modest extracurriculars. Facilities are functional, but rarely monumental. By contrast, American stadiums blur the line between education and spectacle. Communities invest so that students can experience pride and pressure in public. To Japanese eyes, this is a radical idea: that youth development belongs not only in classrooms, but also under bright lights. Some critics worry the expectations are too heavy. Yet even skeptics admit that the rewards are visible. Students graduate with resilience and memories that last a lifetime. For Japanese visitors, this is unforgettable. American high school stadiums are not just arenas for games, but crucibles for growth. As this journey continues, the next chapter will ask a deeper question: how communities manage to build and sustain such grand arenas. The answer lies not only in budgets, but in culture, tradition, and belief. For Japanese visitors, the first shock is that American high school stadiums are not just sports fields but stages for youth dreams. When players burst onto the field to the roar of thousands, it feels like a professional match. In Japan, student athletes play for trophies or pride. In the U.S., teenagers perform under bright lights before entire towns, pressure and possibility blending into one. The scale reshapes the experience. The music, the cheers, the flags, it's overwhelming at first. But soon the field becomes a proving ground. Recruiters watch closely, searching for future stars. For Japanese observers, the idea that a high school game could determine college opportunities is astonishing. The spectacle goes far beyond athletes. Marching bands perform halftime shows like professional concerts. Cheerleaders, drill teams, and student journalists turn the stadium into a showcase of talent. In Japan, such roles are supporting acts. In America, they shine equally. What fascinates Japanese reporters most is how the experience builds confidence. Students learn to perform under pressure, balance study and training, and lead others. The stadium becomes a classroom for courage and discipline, a stage that shapes character as much as skill. The question remains: how can schools afford such places? In Japan, even universities lack arenas of this size. But in America, especially in Texas, towns raise funds proudly. Local businesses sponsor scoreboards, alumni donate millions. Communities see the stadium as their own, a shared legacy that binds generations. The influence reaches beyond football. Restaurants fill, traffic swells, and pride runs high. Critics say the money should go to academics, but locals see stadiums as investments in unity, a space where everyone belongs. For Japanese visitors, this spirit is eye-opening. They come expecting to see competition and leave having witnessed identity. In America, sports are not merely games, they are a language of belonging in a diverse society. The rituals deepen this meaning. Bands thunder, fireworks explode, cheerleaders lead chants, and families fill the stands. Alumni return to the same seats where they once cheered. Strangers become neighbors for a night. The stadium becomes timeless, a bridge between generations and dreams. In the end, what moves Japanese observers most is not the noise but the unity. Even in a country built on individualism, the high school football field reveals a powerful truth: Americans may live separately, but on Friday nights, they stand together. Thank you for joining this journey into the Friday night lights of American high schools. May we remember that the strongest lessons are not always taught in classrooms, but in the places where communities come together to cheer, to remember, and to dream.